Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So for those of you who don't know, I have hyperacusis. I have had it for over a decade now, and that's basically just a sensitivity to sound, all sounds. They can be loud, they can be normal, and my ears just kind of perceive it as louder than normal people do, and that can cause me pain or anxiety, different things. And I just wanted to touch base on some of the electronics that I use on my day-to-day, whether it's listening to music or gaming, from headphones to earbuds and headsets. Starting off with some of these headphones here. I've had these little paw headphones, true wireless ones, for a number of years now. I got them secondhand from Disc Replay, and they've been really good. They're starting to have a little wear on the top, a little crack on the top there that I super glued and put some electrical tape on there, but they're really good, extremely comfortable. When I used my old phone was an old Samsung Note 4, I think, and that worked really great. True wireless experience, charges through the micro USB there, and that worked great. And then when I shifted over to the Note 10, I don't know, something was different about the volume. It seemed like the volume adjustments were a little too loud or a little too quiet for me. So as you can see here, the volume controls are there. I prefer like a volume rocker, like a wheel. You get a little bit more precision with that as opposed to like preset beeps and boops, very specific sound increments there can make it a little bit more challenging having hyperacusis and getting a comfortable volume dealing with that. But these were great. They fit my big old noggin. I use these a lot when I worked at Target, and they came with a nice little traveling case there. And as an added feature, like if the battery died, which had a great battery life, by the way, you could plug them in if your phone still had a headphone jack, which I did for the most part until they got rid of it with the Note 10. But yeah, those were great. As far as drawbacks go, I don't know. I mean, it did have some noise canceling. It wasn't like active noise canceling that we'll talk about here in a minute, but I mean, it got the job done, for sure. I think my ears may have gotten a little sweaty with this pleather material. However, it didn't ever flake off. It's getting a little bit worn down, but it's not like peeling off or something that you would see in other products sometimes. So yeah, that was a great product. And then this guy is a little bit different. Also got this secondhand from Disc Replay. Also charges through micro USB, and this is great. This is a neck speaker by Bose. So high quality. Was expensive, brand new. I don't know how much I paid for it used. It may have been $100 or something, but it was worth it. And the idea here also syncs via Bluetooth, totally wireless. But it was nice because I could wear this around my neck, and then the noise would come out these two speakers here. Now, these being Bose, it really packed a punch. And you're wondering what's up with the electrical tape on these sides here. Well, that's like where the sub is located. It's got like two subwoofers right here, and that's way more than I needed and too much that I could handle. So I actually put like a foam earplug inside the sub, just stuck them right in each hole there, and then I just taped it off to keep it secure. And that just really muffled the sub. And if you're a big music enthusiast, you're like, oh my gosh, that's not great because you're canceling the whole purpose of the sound there. But for me, I wanted to use them for listening to white sound, pink sound through my day-to-day. I was at Disc Replay, they would let me wear this, and I listened to a little bit of pink sound to kind of calm me down. And I was trying to boost my tolerance a little bit with my hyperacusis there, and it kind of helped a little bit. But very comfortable design, kind of a rubbery material here, very comfortable. I could wear these. I would wear this on an 8-hour shift easy, and the battery life was phenomenal. Yeah, not much else to say about those. Easy control with the volume over here. And when you turn on a Bluetooth, any kind of device here, there's usually like a lady's voice that tells you like powering on or connected and things like that. And that was never really a problem with these because it wasn't in my ear and it wasn't too loud. And you could actually turn that feature off with these, which was great with the Bose app. So it would just be like a little bloop when you powered it on and a little bloop when you powered it down. Similar situation with these. But now we're moving on to the Bluetooth earbuds because I wanted to, kind of get back to my, I liked having wired earbuds back in the day with my iPod and, even more recently with other devices. But this was actually my first experience with a true wireless earbud. And later on, I made a little makeshift cover for them because they would pop out and stuff. But these are the JLabs, kind of a more budget friendly version of what's the other one? I'm blanking on it. Starts with a J. It'll come to me. But these were great. I sold these a ton when I worked at Target in electronics. And the reason for that is just because they were a very affordable option. And they were about 30 bucks. So I was always kind of upselling them on people that might want some wireless earbuds but didn't want to shell out, over 100 for some AirPods or maybe some Bose buds or Samsung buds or something like that. But these are really great. Sorry about the earwax and grossness, but they were, pretty small form factor. They just go right back in there and they charge. They've got their own little, what do I want to call it? Own little charging cable built into the case, which at first I thought that was a bad feature because, what's going to happen if you break that cord off and then you're screwed. You can't charge them anymore. But I never had a problem with that. In fact, it was a great feature because I'd always just plug it into a random USB port and, have them charging up. So that was fun. Oh, when I was going to the gym more, they would have like USB ports on the treadmills and ellipticals, so I could just plug it in there and have it, charging the case while I'm listening to my music while I'm working out, and that was really great. And they're in there pretty good. They're held in there by magnets, but every now and again they'd fall out. And one bad thing is the sound. The lady's voice in there is kind of loud for me, so when it connects to my phone, I would hold them outside of my phone for a little bit until it connects, and I just hold it up to my ear until she's done talking, and then put it in my ear. So to avoid that communication that you can't really edit in the settings, unfortunately, on the app or what have you. But overall, it was a pretty reliable set for sure. No active noise canceling. Yeah, I cut a little hole in there so I could see it charging and stuff. But I used these for many years, and they've made fancier ones. They've made smaller ones like the JLab Pops or something. But I haven't tried any of those. But I've always been curious about active noise canceling, and I wondered how that would help me out with hyperacusis. So there again, here's another JLab ones. The paint's kind of rubbed off because they've been in my pocket a lot, but this is a little bit beefier set, as you can see. It does have a lid, which is nice. They're black, so a little bit more, kind of goes with everything. These had different tips. They had these little rubber rings that would go around them too, that I took off. That would just kind of add more noise canceling, physical noise canceling to it. And then I added these foam ear tips too to add more isolation. Which, that's kind of a give and take when it comes to hyperacusis. You don't want to completely cut yourself off from sound all the time, but obviously you need that escape too, sometimes more often than other people do. So I would use these sometimes, and the active noise canceling was, for my first experience ever, really impressive. Like you definitely notice it working, like way more isolating than these, and even on these probably. But there again, my biggest gripe with them is, okay, for one thing, if you want to use active noise canceling, you had to turn it on each time, either in the app or have it mapped to the touch controls or something each time. And that was kind of tedious, if you use them every day or whatever. And, also the voice, I wish you could turn it off, because there was one time when the battery was low in these, because it wasn't in there all the way, and it yelled at me like low battery, and it hurt my ear, and I don't like that. It takes longer for me to recover from ear pain than other people. So overall, these are still great. Now I just kind of don't really use the active noise canceling as much, because I'm trying to boost my tolerance up a little bit more. So that's what's going on there. I definitely prefer the nylon or silicone ear tips over the foam. Yeah, the foam blocks more sound, but they're just kind of gross and a little bit more. You got to squeeze them down to get them into your ear, and then they'll kind of expand in your ear. Whereas the silicone, you just pop them in, you're good to go. So out of these two, I'd go with the cheaper ones, or go with the Pops, the really small ones. They have a lid on them too. This was just kind of what was available at the time. But JLab is good. Good product for sure. Now, one thing I didn't really talk about was the touch controls, which are great. Some cheaper buds might have like physical clicky buttons and stuff, which is awful. But this is just touch. You just do a nice, just a soft touch, and that'll do like pause. Or if you click it 3 times, it might skip a track. Or they have independent controls on either ones, and you have fast access to volume, which is the most important feature for me, to turn things down when need be, or pause things. And you could do more stuff with these ones. You could actually have full volume control just with a single bud. So that was really great with those. So yeah, I don't know, either one are really great. Now moving on to the gaming side of things, I'm predominantly an Xbox guy. Been playing a lot more Steam Deck, which you'll see in some upcoming videos. But Xbox One, I mean, I loved Xbox 360. That was my jam back in the day. But Xbox One, I would play different games, Halo and Gears of War and stuff. And hearing the game sound is one thing to deal with. I'd usually just use the speakers on the TV. But when you're talking to people online, that doesn't always work. You can sometimes have it set up that way, but either way, you're going to have to wear a mic. So this is just the stock one that came with the Xbox One. I liked it because you've got fast buttons to volume control right there, dedicated for that. One thing I didn't like about it is this does take a lot of real estate up at the bottom of the controller. I think I had one later on that was like a lot more minimalist. It just plugged into the bottom, but you sacrifice the volume controls, which is no bueno for me. Sometimes if the sound was too much for me, which is often the case, I would just rest this on my shoulder, around my neck rather, and just kind of listen to the sound from there, have it cranked all the way up, and then just talk through that. And not the most comfortable scenario, but it worked in a pinch. And then moving on, there again, Xbox One original was the Kinect, which, it was used for Kinect games, for motion detecting and stuff like that. But I never used it for that. I never had any Kinect games. I would just use it for a mic. So you could use it just like you would something like this, and then just talk with people. Since it's got a really long cord, I would just bring it all the way close to me on the coffee table and just have it resting in front of me, and then it just works as like a regular mic does, and people could hear me pretty good, and I would just hear their voices in the TV, and that was honestly kind of an ideal setup for me in my situation. And it even has like a little screw hole, so you could mount it on a tripod or something like that. Unfortunately, it's a proprietary port on there, so I couldn't use it after the original Xbox One. Yeah, there were adapters, but they're, a lot more cords and more that you wanted to deal with using it on newer Xboxes, and the current Series X doesn't support it whatsoever. So unfortunately, that is obsolete now. I could probably, I don't know if you could use like a Snowball or a Yeti or something like that and plug it into an Xbox Series X. That would be kind of cool. But then the last product that I've got here is, this is just a rig headset. I also got it from Disc Replay, secondhand. All this stuff came from Replay, except for these. These came from Target and Walmart, brand new. But this is a headset that I finally was able to actually wear comfortably, and at some point I could hear the game and people talking and control it enough where it wasn't really bothering me, thanks to the onboard controls. You'll see I was talking earlier about the volume rockers, the actual wheels here instead of actual buttons, which is a godsend, because you can just turn it the tiniest little bit and have much more control and flexibility than you would with just hitting those buttons on something like that. So that was great. There's a voice in there that says connected, low battery, so I would just kind of put it over my ears till I heard the voice, and then once they were done talking, I just put them on my ears, and that wasn't really a big problem. It might say low battery, but it wasn't as ear bleeding as, something like this. But I don't know. Sometimes my ears are bothering me more than others, so I don't know. I think when I was using this, it was at a better time, when I was a little less sensitive. And so I haven't been using these recently. Right now, I've just been kind of using Discord on my phone, or other methods, and that's been on speakerphone, and that's been working okay. But this has got a detachable mic, which is kind of nice if you don't want to talk. You don't get any feedback from the mic when you have it unplugged, so that's a nice feature. It is truly wireless. It has a little USB dongle that goes in the back of your system or your PC, and it connects to that just fine. It's adjustable. These things pop out, which I don't really like this design so much. These pop out and you put them wherever you want to make it smaller. This doesn't look the most comfortable, but it shockingly is, more than you might think. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about those. That's kind of what I use. If you guys have hyperacusis or any noise sensitivity or any other tips or tricks on gaming or music or what have you, I'm all ears, no pun intended. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.